So, Lynn, this is the last question, and I think that I think that you have addressed it, but you might want to say more. He says, ultimately, the United States is a large and powerful country. In fact, I would say that it is probably the most powerful financial entity in the world. And I think, given that if we chose to, we could employ our workforce in a useful way, if we chose to. The reason why I say this is that I don't really believe that the major obstacles that we face are themselves economic. We do have major economic problems. But I believe that the economic crisis is solvable if we wish to solve it. I think the more difficult question is really almost a moral question. It's a question of what our overall objectives are, of where we want to be 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, and how we get there. Ultimately, while we do have to solve the immediate problem of unemployment, problems regarding our healthcare system, and other such issues, I think really it's only at the point that we can agree that it's not a question of how we return to full employment in 5 years, but really how we solve the more fundamental problems that we face in a way which gives us 1 to 2 generations of steady progress. And really, in that light, what I'd like to ask you, Lynn, because I think it would be useful for people who are trying to understand what it is you're proposing and why you're proposing it, of where you'd like to be 30, 40, or 50 years from now.
Me?
You.
It may occur to some of you that I'm 85, 87 years of age. While I do have a certain vigorous view about, and a fairly long view of what humanity must be doing over the coming years, I don't know how long I'm going to be in it. But I do enjoy the question very much. Now, where should we be? First of all, we have to really. Well, let me go back to put it the other way. Let's take this question of the Mars colonization program. And as I said earlier, the Mars colonization program is something mankind has to do, practically. But the fun is getting there. The morality is getting there. Because this forces us to examine ourselves creatively and to identify the obstacles to realizing that objective and to facing the problems. I mean, can a human being ride in a craft which is being accelerated, as I've indicated, in a short trip, and maybe a short round trip, between Earth orbit and Mars orbit, as a matter of days? Now, if I take that as a challenge and say that we must mobilize the world economy to feature that mission as the principal objective around which we organize all the other things, then I think we will have met the moral challenge, because we will have posed a problem and proposed getting a solution which would solve a great problem for mankind. What is the human race's future in the universe? That's a pretty good goal. It's a pretty general goal. And it subsumes a lot of other questions. But what's most important is the state of mind it requires of you, is what's most important. Because that impels you to adopt a state of mind, a creative state of mind, which exemplifies what a human being is. And it's a concrete way of saying, I'm a human being. 50 years from now, 100 years from now, I'm a human being. And even after I'm dead, I'll be there because I was part of this process.